Recently, a moment that occurred during an interaction between Taehyung and a fan was discussed. As he walked through the crowd, someone in the audience yelled, "JEY KEY," a combination that goes directly with jungkook. Taehyung's reaction was instant and much talked about. He smiled softly and lightly bit his lip. The way Taehyung responded was no accident, and that brief lip gesture seems to indicate that the comment reminded him of Jungkook. It was an instant that needed no words to be understood, especially by those who already sensed the closeness between the two. There's no need to exaggerate or romanticize the moment to understand what it represented. There's no denying that Taehyung's gesture came directly from hearing JEY KEY, and for those who closely follow their interactions and bonds within the group, it's clear he thought of Jungkook. This isn't the first time something like this has happened between them. But the most important thing wasn't the gesture itself, but rather how Taehyung didn't try to hide it. This scene is just one more piece in a long chain of moments between Taehyung and Jungkook that build a consistent narrative. It's a connection that's there and that many can see, and even if others try hard to ignore or minimize it, it can't be erased. It's not about theories or baseless assumptions, it's about what's being shown, what's happening in front of everyone. What's interesting is how these kinds of interactions generate discomfort in certain sectors of the fandom. There are those who continue to try to deny the obvious, looking for excuses, or diverting attention. But there's also a part of all this that's starting to be more noticeable, and that's the way some fans behave when they feel displaced or threatened. A clear example has been what's happening with Celine, the luxury brand with which Taehyung has worked for some time. It's no secret that he's been a Celine ambassador for a long time, and that his image has contributed greatly to the brand. Not only in sales, but also in media presence, visual impact, and international exposure. Taehyung has invested time, energy, and commitment, which Celine recognizes. On the other hand, these types of situations have also generated a certain level of conflict within the fandom. Recently, some fan groups of other members, especially JIMIN's, have reacted with discomfort to the attention Taehyung receives. One of the most frequent discussions has revolved around Taehyung's relationship with the fashion brand Celine, a firm for which he has been an ambassador for a considerable amount of time. Many wonder why some fans insist Jimin should take that position, ignoring the fact that Taehyung has developed a solid, creative, and ongoing collaboration with the brand. Celine, for its part, has repeatedly expressed its appreciation for Taehyung, not only for the visibility he offers as a public figure, but also for the personal commitment he demonstrates. Taehyung not only represents the brand at events or photo shoots, he also maintains a professional and friendly relationship with key people in the company, including the creative director himself. This closeness is the fruit of years of collaboration, trust, and effort. Unfortunately, instead of valuing the individual growth of each member, there are sectors of the fandom that try to generate competition among them. In some spaces, it has been observed how certain people try to promote their favorite idols by belittling others, even spreading unjustified criticism or comments that seek to divide. These types of attitudes not only affect the image of the artists but also damage the environment among fans. Although it is natural for fans to have personal preferences, it is important to remember that all members of the group have their own paths, their own strengths, and their collaborations. Trying to impose one over another does nothing positive for the group or its fans. Celebrating individual achievements without belittling others is part of a healthy fandom. During the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, Jungkook was the focus of international attention, not only for his musical performance at the event, but also for his presence in several luxury shopping areas. While he was there, Taehyung traveled to Paris on the same day. The coincidence of dates was striking and didn't go unnoticed. In Qatar, Jungkook was seen browsing various exclusive stores.
Several recordings and photographs showed his relaxed attitude as he visited high-end boutiques.
One of them was the Celine store, a luxury fashion house that both have previously favored. In the images, it was clear that Jungkook wasn't just there to look, he bought something. He was seen leaving with the store staff, who were carrying a bag clearly identifiable as a Celine bag. Shortly after, Taehyung was the first to return to Korea. Jungkook returned days later. After their return, they both stayed at the Paradise Hotel, known for its privacy and exclusivity. They spent a few days there, away from the public eye, without other BTS members or official agendas. During their time together, they launched the BTS Run Challenge, a video choreographed and edited by themselves. What caught people's attention wasn't just the fact that they did it without the rest of the group, but the level of production and the personal details included. The clothes Jungkook wore for that video matched the Celine clothes he had purchased in Qatar. This confirmed that his purchase wasn't casual or impulsive. It was a thoughtful choice, with clear intention.
Jungkook chose those clothes for a special moment with Taehyung.
The filming and editing of the challenge wasn't just fan content, it was a planned action, executed in its own way, and with an underlying message that needs no forced explanations. The connection between the two is evident not in words, but in actions. From the synchronized trip to different destinations to the private reunion in Korea, everything fits together. Small gestures like a carefully chosen gift, a collaboration without other members, a choreography edited by themselves, they build a narrative that doesn't require unnecessary labels. They understand each other, they seek each other out, and they support each other. That's what Taekook has proven time and time again. Despite the constantly circulating rumors, speculation, and misunderstandings, they have remained steadfast. Their bond doesn't need to be explained in conventional terms. Jungkook and Taehyung have shared public and intimate moments for years. What happened in Qatar, Paris, and then Korea is no exception. It's a logical continuation of their shared history. The challenge was a direct way to make it clear, they're still together, they're still connected, and they're still committed to being close, no matter what's happening around them. This isn't the first time we've seen them act in concert. They've traveled together in their free time, worn complementary styles to separate events, and done live broadcasts where their complicity is evident. What happened in Qatar isn't an isolated event, but rather part of a constant. Taehyung and Jungkook seek out private moments, support each other in personal decisions, and turn simple encounters into meaningful acts. Neither has spoken openly about their bond, and they don't have to. But their actions speak louder than any declaration. When Jungkook chose to shop at Celine, it wasn't by chance. When they both edited that challenge with precision and their own style, it wasn't just for entertainment, it was a wordless affirmation: we're here, we're still together, and this is our way of showing it. For those who follow Taehyung, these moments don't need to be exaggerated or interpreted beyond the obvious. The pieces fit together, and for those who still have doubts, the sequence of events speaks for itself. Jungkook's trip, Taehyung's move, the reunion in Korea, the challenge filming, Celine's clothes, the shared private space, the joint production, nothing was improvised. Some people believe gestures can be faked, but when you look closely at how Taehyung and Jungkook interact, you notice there are things that can't be hidden. They aren't putting on a scene for the public. They're experiencing something that goes beyond the visible. The movements they make, the glances they throw at each other, the way they touch each other without fear, everything has a clear language. There are no words, but there are repeated signals that no longer seem casual. When someone acts repeatedly with another person, it's because it comes naturally to them, because their body responds naturally. And that's what happens with Taehyung and Jungkook. Whenever they're around each other, their gestures appear again and again. They're not acting. They're not playing a role. They're showing themselves as they are when there's no filter. The most striking thing about this is that these gestures only happen between them. No one else in the group shares that kind of physical language. Only them. Jungkook touches Taehyung without hesitation, without looking at who's next to him. Taehyung settles into Jungkook's embrace as if his natural space were right there, right there. And he doesn't do it once or twice, he does it every time. And it's not an awkward gesture. Neither of them moves away. On the contrary, they seek to be closer. They seek to meet each other's eyes. They settle in with the same calmness as a couple accustomed to sharing everything, even silence. This shows that their bond doesn't depend on words. They don't need to speak for others to understand what they feel. Their body speaks for them. They say it with the touch of a hand, with a smile that appears only when they look at each other, with the way they approach each other regardless of who is looking. This is how they communicate. This is how they show that their connection is alive all the time. That's why, when someone tries to say that this is all just a show, they're not really paying attention. Because what you see between Taehyung and Jungkook can't be created with rehearsals. It's not part of a script. It's something you feel, something that appears without them forcing it, without them having to pretend. And that's what makes many Taekook fans see beyond what others choose to ignore. If there's one thing that's become clear over time, it's that the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook isn't built on staged acts. Everything they do together, they do it from the comfort that only comes when there's a deep bond. And that bond isn't only evident in what they do on camera, but also in the moments when there's nothing to prove.